Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, and today previewing Sandown Hillside tomorrow. It's Australia Day racing. Can't wait to get stuck into it. I'm obviously, or not obviously, I am going to be there tomorrow for the racing, so I can't wait for that. There's going to be some good horses going around. Rail in the true position, good for it, should be playing very evenly. So we'll get stuck straight into the first race. Oh, just before I do that, I've got to get ready with my Google Slides. I've forgotten that I'm unprepared today. So last week, the $10 strategies came into play. So we spent $80 and we returned 96.3, which gave us a profit on turnover of just over 20%, which is good, which is very good. The highlights of last week were we had 8 the win on unflinching at $1.70, shuffled answer we had 10 the win on $1.75, then we had 8 no deal done, who did well at $4.50. And the Hass I had as a bit of a saver, one Dance to Dubai one, and stripped back ran a place. And the Quaddy I got 240 for 100% net paid 791 it won. So very good last week, but we're going to get stuck straight into this week. The first race, a benchmark 70 over the 2400 as always. We're going to take a look at the key chances. G'day Nikki, good to see you on the stream, buddy. We're going to get straight into it. So this is the horse I'm keen to take on tomorrow, Silver Tycoon. I know it's not a very small price, small price. I reckon it should be, I think it's a 10 under the odds at the moment. Its last start win was good, as to go up in class again. Only just beat Freedom Escape and Pitching on last start. I was happy to take it on. Who else? Princeton Award is the horse I think is way over the odds. Benchmark 64 winner last start at Geelong. I know I said with Silver Tycoon before it has to go up in class again, but if you watch that win, for the first 200 metres of the straight, he got bustled around, he got held up, and once he got clear, he sprinted very strongly. Princeton Award has the ability to win a race of this calibre. From gate 12, we'll have to go back, but Damien Thornton knows the horse well and can get it to the line. And at $12, I reckon it's over the odds. Wahine Tower's my on-top selection in the race at the moment. Just brings the best form. So Unusual and Soleil Noage are good horses for this type of race at benchmark 70. And that's why I think it's just the class runner. Beat Soleil Noage and Kaituku 2 back. Maddie Cartwright sticks. Has to go up in weight, but it carried it here when it probably still was a bit underdone and just missed behind uniquely. From gate 11, it offsets me a bit, but I still think it should be the on-top selection in the race. And Angels, the other one I think is over the odds for Jamie Mott. Probably needs a wet track to show its best, which is the main query. But it's past 2 runs on very firm tracks. This one, it just couldn't handle when the sprint went on. That was in the Wahine Toa race. So maybe if they go a bit harder, it could show a bit more quality. And before that, behind Platinum Spirit, don't know what happened there. Pacino's also in the market. I didn't have it near my top selection, but it can run okay. And Max Mercury for Damian Lane as well. That's incredible. Beat it last start. And Max Mercury, even though it gets a little weight swing on That's Incredible, I still think, and even though it wasn't suited by the slow tempo last start, I still think That's Incredible should be closer to it in the market than Max Mercury. So that's what I think of race 1. And if we take a look at the graphic, I've got Wahine Toa and Princeton Award, pretty keen on both of them. We're going to go 6 win on Wahine Toa and 2 each way on Princeton Award. So the first at Sandown, I think that's how I'm going to start. I'm happy with that. Race number 2 is a Fillies and Mares benchmark 70 over the 1400 metres. This is another wide open race that I had trouble with picking a horse, but we'll start with Lady Adelaide. I quite like this horse tomorrow. Even though it won a weaker race last start at Cranbourne in a Fillies and Mares 64 1400, it did it in great quality, and it probably, looking at that first up record, you can see why it ran third beaten 2 behind Boss Queen, and you can see the second up record. That's how it improved to win here. Third up, it gets better as well for this horse, so I think it can put itself on a potentially a slow speed up the front, and I think Lady Adelaide might be slightly over the odds considering it hasn't shown its full potential yet. We saw it as a 3-year-old, but we still haven't seen its full potential of what it can do this preparation, and I think it's worth something for Ethan Brown, who does choose this horse over Colombe Dior, who's running at Pakenham tonight. So, and he'd probably be the top seed for Mar and Eustace before Patrick Payne as well. So fills me with a bit of confidence. Dane on 2, I think, is going to the Valley on Saturday, but ran behind So You See last start and did all right. Drops back to the 1400, which I'd probably see as a minus rather than a plus, but it'll put itself there and be hard to beat. Defining will have to get back and run on. It ran okay, bring the different form lines, Field of Praise and Unusual Culture. Ran behind Bel Riche and Hypothetical, 2 back at Ballarat. That's solid form. It can feature here. Rio Yuki is the horse that I like, but I also don't like. I like its form. I like how it's dropping back in class from the Bel Riche Forbidden City form. Danny St. Darcy beat it before that start, 2 back. That was first up. That's what I said. I like this horse's form, but I hate its gate. Gate 1 at the back on a potentially slow speed. It just pains me because I think this horse is an on-top selection, but with the gate 1 thrown into the mix, I just don't know what to do with it. But anyway, I've still got it up there. I think it's a good chance. This is the X Factor horse, Whistler Lass. Won in pretty quick time, 1:22.08 at Warrnambool in the 1400 metre maiden, beating Shocking Habit and Osvardia. But since then, it's come out and beaten Miso. It missed the start on this occasion, dug up into the 1 out, 1 back position, and Miso's a pretty good horse, so it did pretty well to get over the top of that horse, and I think Whistler Lass is a good chance, but has to go up in class and do it again, and now it's going from Warrnambool to, well, no, it's not Saturday class, but definitely that type of Saturday class as we've been seeing over the past couple of weeks. Any other key chances? Well, this horse is coming out. It's running at Pakenham tonight. So that probably concludes us for race 2. And in race 2, I like Rio Yuki and Lady Adelaide. Got 2 horses. One's going to be at the back. One's going to be on speed. So 6 to win Rio Yuki, 4 to win Lady Adelaide to win similar amounts. Hopefully one of those 2 horses can get up in the second race. Race number 3 is the first of the Blue Diamond previews. It's the Colts and Geldings over the 1,000 metres. For the 2-year-olds, obviously, it's the Blue Diamond. And let's take a look at some of the key chances. Cracker Rib. Now, this horse is very interesting. It ran in the Maribyrnong trial and ran pretty stinky, but since then it's come out and beaten Little Brosen or Struck in the Maribyrnong play. Don't know how strong that form line was, and it got its own way up the front, so I'd probably like to see it do it first before I could really, say I was confident in it, but still, it's an okay chance. This is the horse that they all have to run down. It's the Instructor. Really like this horse. Been following it since it won its Flemington jump out before its first start at Pakenham. And at Pakenham, it got a bit of a medium tempo, and it was just able to find another gear in the straight and win well. This horse has above average ability. Waterhouse and Bott know what they're doing. Should be on speed again. It might face more pressure up front, but it'll definitely be running well again, and I've got it on top. Out of the unraced ones, I think Amigo's probably going to want further than the 1,000 metres in time, but pretty good chance. Fire Follower, I thought its jump out was only okay, so not sure what to do there. Goods, that's Adam Goods from Sydney Swans, obviously the Rosemont Victorian Alliance. Its jump out was very good. I'm not sure what gate it had in the jump out, but it definitely dug up to lead on the fence, and now it's got the blinkers for the first time, so it'll probably, from gate 1, it's probably going to lead again. The Instructor sits outside of it. That's how I'm sort of seeing it. I reckon Goods is a very good chance. Probably out of the first starters, it's probably the one to beat. Regal Zeus, and this one I think is a good chance as well. Score Sessi, or however you say that. Its jump out win was pretty good, and with the booking of Linda Meach, it's going to go forward and probably, only bother the Instructor. But I still think Scorsese is over the odds, considering it'll be on speed and going well. So in the third at Sandown, I'm pretty keen on the Instructor. Hopefully it can just get that nice run, either outside the leader or 1 out, 1 back, peel out in the straight, into the right part of the track, and Geordie Childs will know what to do. So that's the third at Sandown. Race 4 is the other preview. It's for the fillies over the 1,000 metres, the 2-year-old fillies. And we have a few more raced experienced horses in this one. Exploring, I was a bit surprised at its opening price of $10. I thought it had a good starting price profile on New Year's Day, where it beat Picky and Ode to Joy. That was a good win, even though it got the favours on a slow speed and Willow only pushed the button at the 200. But if you watch the full replay, through the line it was actually getting away from Picky and Ode to Joy. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was able to exceed expectations tomorrow if they go a little bit quicker. Willow obviously sticks with the ride, so that's always a very good sign. Aditi, the favourite, considering these are all 2-year-olds in a 15-horse field, I thought it was slightly under the odds. It was a similar run to this one for Aditi. It was a slow speed that Zulfikar set on this day, and it sort of just kicked and won. This horse was on speed and obviously in the right part of the field on speed that day. Beat Charmstone, who came out and won the Ottawa Stakes. Even though I think it's a good chance, I think it's slightly under the odds compared to a horse like Exploring, considering there's still full potentials to be reached by these 2-year-old fillies. And as I said, Aditi, good chance, but just slightly under the odds in my opinion. I was happy to take it on in this race. Ode to Joy, they're going to try and ride it more forward, maybe even lead. So that's something to pick up on. Mark Zara takes the ride. It could be over the odds. All at Once, open at 50 to 1. I don't know how. Long, Peter and Paul Stone, Damien Oliver, 2-year-old. Not sure how that opened at 50 to 1. It's come in now. Just Sonic Boom out of the unraced ones was probably the one that I was most happy to be with for Anthony and Sam Friedman. Was on speed, never really got touched, and went to the line very well. So that's a good chance. It's getting out in price now. Elderberry deserves its price. It's jumped out well as well. It can figure. Right to Party, another Anthony and Sam Friedman horse. Drawn a tad wide. Not sure what it's going to get to in the run, so probably happy to take it on. But in the fourth race at Sandown, I was happy to go with 5 each way on Exploring. I thought it was way over the odds at $10, and hoping Willow can put it on pace tomorrow and it can run a bit of a race. At the price, I think it's very good. Race number 5, a benchmark 70 over the 1,400 metres. This is another open race, even though only 11 horses in the field. Let's go. Sandy Prince. Now getting in price. I think it's into about $7 now. Oliver, 61.5 kilos. The jockey's no concern, but the weight may be a tad concerning. Only ran fair behind Jungle Jim. Has been scratched on a number of occasions since then. Because of I'm pretty sure it's because of wide gates. So it'll put itself on speed, and up to 1,400 looks a plus. I couldn't have it on top. This is the horse I think is over the odds in the race. It's Daily Bugle. Now, after this win at Sandown beating Djumbuck, everyone was all over it, saying, it's a good thing coming back from a spell. It's had its 3-year-old campaign. Now it's going to turn into an ultra mega superstar. And on that Netanyahu day, obviously last start, I had it marked closer to double figures than single figures, to be honest. I thought, yeah, that win was good, but it had to go up in class and do it again, and it found itself at the back off a slow speed and couldn't get into it. Now the market's taking a set against it, which I did last start, but now I think this run was okay considering the slow speed, and I think it should be a bit shorter. It's going to get a slow speed again, but hopefully from gate 6, J-Mott can be a pair closer, and in a smaller field, it can do a bit better. So that's the horse I think is over the odds. Pocket Change will go forward for Blake Shin. Couldn't have it on top off a Benalla win. Savvy Sovereign, Ma Eustace, Ben Allen will also go forward. It's coming off a Geelong win. Just Jono's the favourite. I'm happy to take it on at the moment. Was coming out of that Netanyahu race as well as Daily Bugle. I had Just Jono marked shorter than Daily Bugle, but I had Daily Bugle closer to Just Jono in the market. Just Jono did well, but it was a pair closer than Daily Bugle in the run, and they sort of finished at the exact same places on the line. Daily Bugle was just behind Just Jono. So I think they should be a lot shorter in the market. I think that's a premium form reference to that Netanyahu form. Blow In is a very good chance in my opinion. Was good behind Danny Sandasi and Reo Yuki at Warrnambool 2 back. Then went to Flemington and just couldn't sprint with them when the sprint went on. Was too far back and it got going through the line. Willow On can settle closer. It's a good chance. And Designer Dreamer, first up, won well. It could have just come back a completely different horse. I wanted to throw that in my strategy, but I couldn't find room for it. So in race 5 at Sandown, I've gone 6 to win on Blow In. It could be ready to win this horse, and 4 the win on Daily Bugle. Hopefully that can do something. But don't forget about Designer Dreamer as well. Don't leave that out of like your quaddie or same race multi or whatever you do. Race 6 is the first of the features. It's the WJ Adams Stakes over the 1,000 metres for the speedsters at listed level. 9 horses to look at. Let's go. Not an option. Surprised to see it at the 1,000 metres, to be honest. This is the first time I've seen this. It's one at 800. I don't know where they have 800 metre races, but I was going to say 1,000 might be too short, but it's one at 800, so maybe not. Good first up record. Can surprise. I thought it was over the odds. I had it in my first 4. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but this is my on-top selection in the race, Esther La Rocca. Now, in the Kensington Stakes, it pulled up with a slow recovery and it had mucus. Had a strong starting price profile that day. Before that, Raylan Cox played day behind Scissor Step, narrowly went down. It was a good run that day. I think if it's recovered from its slow recovery last start, it can figure. I think the market's missed it. D-Lane goes back on this horse where he's been successful before. Gate 1 can get a nice run behind the leaders. I think will be Yulon Command and also Starry Legend. And I think Esther La Rocca is something worth here, considering the price. Yulon Command is the other one I think is over the odds. It's been backed in this afternoon slightly. J Car, Gate 2 on speed. Will probably get pestered by Starry Legend, which it won't like. And Esther La Rocca beat it this day when I was there on William Reed night. So I think Esther La Rocca has its measure, but Yulon Command can definitely figure. Dragonstone, maybe. That's all I'm going to say. Star Patrol. Now, I think this horse is under the odds, Star Patrol. It can win. It's got the X factor, but I think it's slightly under the odds. Its 3-year-old handicap wins in the autumn. Very good. Beat Cardinal Gem, Traporti, Outback Action, and Co. Went to the Creswick, got beaten by Passive Aggressive, but that horse is good. Then went to the Heath and did okay behind Shooting for Golden Generation. This horse is first up tomorrow. It can win. It's got the class to win. But I'm just not sure first up off a big break compared to some race-fit horses that it should be 220. The market respects it because of the X factor. McDonald, Mellum, good combination, but not for me tomorrow. It can win, but I'm happy to not be on it at the price. On the lead, ran down Inundation, probably because it had heat stress. 55 kilos, Craig Williams can win. Starry Legend will be on speed. Alpha 1, not sure whether it's going to run here or on Saturday, but it should, for me to put it on top, it should have won here at Randwick behind Albalaggio Miss and Valmaster. It's got some good 3-year-old form with a new stable by Sutton and Young, but just not sure about it. Not sure why it's gone to Sutton and Young either, so that's a bit of an unknown, but it can win. So in race 6 at Sandown, I'm just happy to go 5 each way on Esther La Rocca. Good price. I like it. Second last race on the day is the Jacquinot Stakes over the 1,300 metres for the 3-year-olds at Group 3 level, and we'll start with Jacquinot. It wins because it's the class horse. That's not going to take me very long. Look at it. Won the Golden Rose betting in Secret, who came out and won a Coolmore. Ran well in the Everest, although it had a small weight, but it went so close in the Everest, did well in the Coolmore stud, beat Aft Cabin and Tijuana in the McNeil, and then you go down the second horse, who's meant to be the second highest rated. It finished last behind Jacquinot in the McNeil, beaten 13 lengths. It's winning Jacquinot. It's winning Jacquinot. Bankmore, I've got in my top 4, was in a Caulfield Guineas campaign, won this good race on Underwood Stakes Day at Sandown. I like that form reference, but beating the Fortune Teller and Elliptical, those 2 horses came out and did well out of that respective race. John McNeil sticks. Gate 3 will be on speed. It can run well for second. What a deal. I was surprised at its opening quote of $35 compared to Bankmore's 10. It's got Craig Williams on. First up last time, it bolted in at Geelong in a 3-year-old maiden. I know Geelong 3-year-old maiden, but they're all 3-year-olds, so it doesn't really matter. Ran well behind Perfect Thought in the Carbine Club. From gate 4, it can put itself in a lovely position. A lovely map for this horse. It can run very well. What a deal. And over the odds. Angry Skies, I think, is slightly over the odds. Mark Zara goes on. Some good form behind See You and Evan and the Fortune Teller. Murray McBoy probably have to improve a couple of lengths to win here, but can do so. Ruthless Dame. The only thing I didn't like was the long layoff. Otherwise, good chance. Beat Nana Guy on debut. Second run. That horse hasn't done much since. But J. Carr sticks with it. It's a good chance. Climbing Star. It's just a watch and see for me tomorrow. I'm not confident enough to have it in my top numbers. So we'll get straight on with the strategy. 8 to win on Jack and I'm having one each way on What a Deal because I think it's way over the odds at 26. Should be a bit shorter. I liked it more when it was 35, obviously, but it's a bit shorter now. That's race 7. Hopefully we've won a stack load going into the last, which is the John Dillon Stakes over the 1400 at listed level. And this favourite we're going to get onto shortly. But Crosshaven is the first horse we're going to take a look at. I've got Crosshaven on top tomorrow. I think it's a pretty good chance. Mickey D, 60 kilos, everyone says, too much weight, but I'm not too worried about that. Gate 10 will put itself on speed, has drawn inside Paldioro, which I think is key because it can hold Paldioro out and make Paldioro work if Paldioro wants to go forward. But if that horse wants to go back, then Crosshaven probably gets stuck 3 wide if the horses inside of it, like East India Man and Dawn Passage, kick up. But Crosshaven's form's good. With the big weight, wasn't able to go with the sprint in the Chester Manifold and was good through the line. Before that, beat a smart horse in Norwegian Bliss in the Heffernan. And then before that, had some issues in the Linlithgow. So I think Crosshaven is over the odds. I had it marked shorter. That's probably why I like it. Gentleman Roy for Mark Zara. I had it marked favourite, but I didn't have it $3. I had it closer to $4. So probably happy to take it on. It won the Sandown Stakes, beating Military Expert and Pinstriped with the 54 kilos. Has to go up to 59.5, only carrying 1 kilo less than Crosshaven, which concerns me a bit considering it's a handicap horse. Carried a lightweight in the Toorak. First up last time, got beaten by I Wish I Win, but that was a pretty good run anyway because of the speed of that race. I had Gentleman Roy in my top 4, but not on top. Dawn Passage can run a bit of a race. Normandy Bridge, I think, will be better over further, but it's been gelded, so watch out for that. Paldioro, the only thing that put me off was the gate. Now, gate 12, it'll be there somewhere. If it pushes up enough to go to the lead, then it's going to have to spend some petrol tickets, which I don't like. It's set 3 wide, no cover, 2 back and 1, so J. Carr might just sit 3 wide, no cover and keep Crosshaven in, but I still don't like horses 3 wide, no cover. It's a big no-no for me. They never seem to do well, apart from when Paldioro won the Vobiscold Bullion. But if Paldioro wants to sneak back midfield or so and track Crosshaven into the race, then it's a big chance. And the 54 kilos suits. Considering it's a sit and sprint last start, thought it should have done better behind Corner Pocket and Looks Like Elvis, but those are 2 good horses. Umgawa can run well. Gate 1's not the best. And William Thomas not having again after last start. So the last at Sandown, I'm with Crosshaven at $9.50. I think it's over the odds, having 5 each way on that horse. I reckon it's something to play with in the last race. So we're going to get onto the back stacking crack now for tomorrow. I'm going to back Esther La Rocca. I think it's over the odds in the WJ Adams. Going to stack a Didi. Just think it's too short. And going to crack Jacquinot because it's going to win. It's going to win race number 7, the Manfred Stakes. Going to get on with the quaddies now. Obviously, we won the quaddie last week, and we've got some okay dividends this time around. So I'll tell you the numbers. So we got in the first leg 7 Princeton Award, 9 Wahine Toa, 10 Angel, 11 Pacino, and 13 Max Mercury. In the second leg, we've got 2 Lady Adelaide, and I've just seen Dane on Tour's come out, so scrap Dane on Tour. 4 Defining, 6 Rio Yuki, 7 Wishlaw Lass, and 12 Colombe Dior, which will come out. Why didn't I put that out? Anyway, sack Colombe Dior and Dane on Tour. That's going to be 4-legged leg. We're going to go the Instructor 1 out in the Blue Diamond preview because I'm confident. And in the last leg, the 1 Exploring, the 2 Aditi, the 6 Ode to Joy, the 9 Dystonic Boom, and the 10 Elderberry. So now that would trim down to 5 by 4 by 1 by 5, which will give you $100 for 100%. Pretty good, in my opinion. Now we get on with the quaddie. We won the quaddie last week, so let's go 2 weeks in a row. In the first leg, the 4 Daily Bugle, the 8 Just Jono, the 9 Blow In, and the 10 Designer Dreamer. In the WJ Adams, we're in a 9-horse field, we're taking 6 of them. Not an option, Esther La Rocca, Yulon Command, Star Patrol, On the Lead, and Alpha 1. 1 out, Jack and Owen the Manfred, leaving out What a Deal. And in the last leg, the 1 Crosshaven, the 3 Gentleman Roy, and the 8 Pal de Oro, $72 for 100%. That's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I'll do another one Friday night for the Valley card, Australia Stakes Day card, on Saturday the 28th. I'll see you then. Until then, bye for now.